And welcome, dear friends, to our 9 to 9 bibleli. Today we're going to learn Hosea chapter 10 and 11. So I'm really happy that all of you are here and that we can start. Thank you for waiting half an hour. I had a chance a little bit to be with my friends in high school. I've been in a lovely restaurant and I'm back now to the house and preparing ourselves for the weekend. So first of all, let's start with our blessing. And we shall start. Sharon, go ahead. This week you are going to be the blesser.
I can't hear.
Sharon, can you hear? Can you hear us? Oh, it's disconnected. So let's ask Detlef. Detlef, how are you?
Well, I'm very tired, but because the cancer and maybe the nurse coming in this program to carry to serve.
Okay.
So, but it don't lay like a block on me. I'm happy. And
okay.
I survive with humor.
Yeah. I think this is something that can help. Thank you for sharing, of course, and as always, every week we're praying for you. And you're welcome to bless us, בבקשה.
Okay. כי מלאה הארץ את אדוני כמים מלאום הכסים.
מכסים, amen, יפה מאוד. Let's start with Hosea, chapters 10 and 11 today with us. Really interesting. One is a chapter with a prophecy that really punished and accused the people with their behavior. And the other is a prophecy of love. So let us see. Go ahead.
Geven Bokel Israël, Peri bij Ishulalo, Karov, Leviro, Harba. Lamits Bogot, Katov, La Arzo. Hayasivu, Matsevot. Halak Laban Ata, my ish, my Shamu Ho Arech Mitzchotam Yishdei Ma Etz Votam. Sorry, my dyslexia.
And we can see that the people think that they are a Geffen vineyard, but it's an empty one. The expression Geffen Bokek is, with the commentaries, as a question if it's a positive or negative expression. As you can see in King James Translation, it's the negative one, which is an empty vineyard. There is fruit, but the fruit is not the fruit that God wants. This is the fruit of the altars and the fruits of the images. And when we look at the language with their the suffix, we're speaking about their heart and their altars, their images, and he which is God. There is a distinction, not just between the God and people of Israel. It's also something that relates to the language itself. When you speak about who and when you speak about them, that means that they are far away from what God actually wants. When God wants his people, he's saying, Ami, my people. In this chapter, the images and the metaphors that relates to the agricultural world and to the world of corn and wine is something that is going to follow with us. Also, the journey is going to be with different places that are going to be with us. So we are going to see it during the lecture today. And let's say hello to Maria. Maria, how are you, dear friend? How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you.
You had a good week?
I had a wonderful week. I went, how do you say that? I wanted to go rowing, but they only had a motorboat, a little motorboat, a sloop. So I went
Okay.
with that on a small river.
Okay.
Here with my 3 grandchildren, and they wanted it again and again and again. So, and today one of the youngest grandchildren came here and ate with us. I had the 3, Dan, Gertjan, and Elise, and then Manoa came too with his mother, our daughter. So I had a great week.
Yeah, fair.
They
Yeah,
were
fair,
here.
friend.
Dan, Gertjan, and Elise were here Monday. They were here Tuesday all day because they had no school. Yesterday we went babysitting because Dan had some event for
Okay.
Sunday school class. And today they were here again. Now, tomorrow, I think I will feel lonely because they won't be visiting me.
Thank you, dear friend. תודה רבה, and of course you're more than welcome to read to us, בבקשה.
Okay, thank you. Ki ata omru ein melech lanu ki lo yareinu et Adonai v'hamelech ma ya'aseh lanu. Dibru de Varim alot Shav. Shav? Is it pronounced Shav?
Yeah,
Eddie?
Sham.
Shav, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Karot, Berit, Ufarach, Karosh, Mishpat, Al Talmei, Sadai. Aglot, Beit, Aven, Yaguru, Shechen, Shomron, Ki Aval, Alav, Amo, Marav, Alav, Yagilu, Al Kavodo, Ki Gala, Mimenu.
First of all, we can see the situation, how the people feel that they are helpless, they have no king, they didn't fear God, they're frightened what the king is going to do to us. Maybe it's a foreign king, the Assyrian. And we can see their behavior, speaking, words that are not truth. We can see that the judgment, we can see the word roshir, karosh, but not as the meaning of a head, the meaning of poison. The covenant is not true. The words that they are saying are not true. And the situation is that they are going to be deported. There's going to be an exile. We can see also the calves. It reminds us the calves of Jeroboam in Beit El and in Dan, as written in 1 Kings chapter 12. Samaria is, of course, the capital of the northern kingdom. The situation here is a situation that there is a distinction between God and the people. And the distinction is because of the religious actions that they are doing. They are not fearing God. They are, they worship other gods. And they are not doing the Ten Commandments as they should be. And this is something which is really important to pay attention to. We can see this. And let us continue with the Your beautiful words, Bas. Ruth, this would be yours, בבקשה.
Thank you. גם אותו לאשור יובל מנחה למלך יריב בשנה אפרים יקק יבוש ישראל מארצתו. נדמה שמרון מלכה כקצף על פני מים. נשמדו במות אין חטאת ישראל קוץ דור דור יעלה על מצבקותם ויאמר להרים כשונו ולגבות נפלו עלינו.
Beautiful, Ephemer. And we can see here elements from the nature that are going, of course, to hurt them, the mountains that are going to cover them, and the hills that are going to fall, and the thorn and the thistle, which is also takes us to the punishment of Adam, the first man, and it's going to be upon their altars. Samaria is going to be as the foam upon the water, ketzef al pnei mayim. And the situation is also going to be with they feel they're going to be ashamed. You see the word busha, boshna, or yivosh. And this all relates to the Assyrians. Yarev is probably an Assyrian king. The word rabum in Akkadian is great. Maybe it's not just his name, it could be an adjective. The situation is not easy for the Northern Kingdom. We can see that the elements here of nature is taking us to the situation that the destruction is really close and that the punishment is going to come pretty soon. We know that the end of the Northern Kingdom is due to many reasons. The religious one also relates to the Assyrians that come and as an empire exile the people. Also social problems that described in the book of Amos and a little bit here. Which, from political point of view, many kings were replaced in such short time. We can see it, for example, in 2 Kings chapter 15. Situation here is complex with many elements, and Hosea brings to us the elements of nature that can show us the future to come with the Northern Kingdom people. Let's continue now to the next passage. I hope that Sharon now can speak. Sharon, are you with us, dear friend? We've lost you before, and we couldn't hear you. Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, but okay. You want me to read?
Yeah.
Do you want me to try? Okay. Mime Hagiva Hatata Israel Sham Amadu Lo Sigem Bakiba Milchama Bene Alba Bia Yavari Ve Etam Ve'usafu Ahem Amin Bisarim Vise Atam Ve'Ephraim Egla Ada Ohavti Baduz Ani Abati Alto Savara Arki Ephraim Yahavos Yehuda, Yosaded, Lo Yaakov.
Well, then we can see here the past a little bit. Story that of what we're calling Pilegesh Bagiva. It's a story from the book of Judges, chapter 19. A horrible story about maid here that were punished and raped. This is the starting point of the sins from the Northern Kingdom people, according to this passage. We can see Ephraim is described one more time as a calf, as a heifer, that is taught, and we can see that he's going to be hurt with God. And maybe the idea here is that the sin is not stopped. It's always there. What Hosea reminds the people is that from the time of Giv'ah, which is in Judges, these 300 years, maybe a little bit less, the people of the north didn't stop the sin. This is something which is really important to pay attention to when we try to understand the prophecy. But the prophecy has many elements and many words. It's not easy prophecies to explain, because there are many words here that even in the biblical Hebrew are not used a lot. But we can feel the atmosphere here, and the situation here is whenever Ephraim is mentioned, that means that this is the Northern Kingdom people, and the situation is not easy. And let's see more of what happens
Ellie?
here. Yeah.
It speaks of the same thing in the New Testament in Luke 20:30 and Revelation 6:16 and 9:6. Also 2 Corinthians 9:10. Coincide with 10:8 and 10. Or late.
Okay. Can you write in the chat box the chapters? I will look, pay attention to. Thank you. תודה שרון, תודה רבה. And let's see what they should do and what happened to them. One more time, we're speaking about the field. זרעו לכם לצדקה, קיצרו לפי חסד, נירו לכם ניר, ועת לדרוש את אדוני עד יבוא ויורד צדק לכם. And in verse 12, this is actually the commandments. Sow yourself in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fellow ground, for the time to seek the Lord. He will come and rain righteousness upon you. The idea is that there is rain, drops that makes the fields grow, but there is also a beautiful metaphor of rain of justice and righteousness. However, what we can see in verse 13, Yud Gimel, is the other situation. Charashtem resha, you ripped iniquity, you have plowed wickedness. Avlata ktsartem, achaltem pri chachash, the fruit of lies, because כי בטחת בדרכך ברוב גיבוריך. That the people of the Northern Kingdom, they do this agriculture elements, but it's in a bad way, not in a good way. And God is giving here the elements of what they should do. When you sow righteousness, when you reap mercy and kindness, when you break up your fellow ground, this is something that, we just a guide of what you need to do. But the people are doing the opposite. And let's see how chapter 10 ends with these words. Let's come back to dear Detlef that would read to us. בבקשה.
Okay.
Go ahead.
ויקם שאול בעמך, וכל ויצריך. ויושר כסור שלמית בית ארבל ביום מלחמה עם הבנים רושתשה ככה עשה לכם מהבית אל מפני רעתכם בשכר נדמה מלך ישראל.
יפה מאוד. There is going to be noise among your people. The fortress are going to be spoiled. And here the name Shalman is mentioned, probably Shalmaneser, the Assyrian king that we know from the book of Kings. Pay attention to the mother was dashed in pieces upon her children. This is a horrible picture. And it seems to be that the exile is pretty soon. ככה עשה לכם בית אל מפני רעת רעתכם. This is what he has done to you in Beit El, one of the places that we can see calves there of Jeroboam. And the situation here is a situation that is just a little bit before the exile. Whether it's the exile that will be pretty soon or the exile that will be in few years, the situation is not easy. Sean is writing us the New Testament comparison of Hosea 10, verse 8 to Luke and Revelation, and also Hosea 11 to Matthew. Thank you very, very much, Sean. Toda rabah. And from this situation, with the elements of punishments and the Assyrians and the situation that is not easy, we're going back to chapter 11, and chapter 11 takes us to another situation. So let us see this beautiful word. And Ruth, you will start. Bevakasha.
1 second. There we go.
Just one moment. Here it goes.
King Na'ar Israel, U Ahavu, U Mimetzerin, Karati, Livnei. Oh, Mimitraim, Karati, Livnei. Karu Lahem, Ken Halku, Mi Pnehen, U Baalim, U Zaravhu, U Lefhasalim, Ikteron, Va'anuki, Tergilti, Le Ephraim, Kahem, Al Zarotav, Velo, Yadao Ki, Raphatim.
First of all, we can see God as a healer. As many times in we can see this idea, God is going to be the healer of the people. He's going to heal them. And we can see that the same idea that the people of Israel is just a child and God loved him from Egypt, he called him. The metaphor that we've seen last week is the metaphor of husband and wife. Here we can see a metaphor of father and son. And God is speaking to them that they were called to the Baals and they went to the graven images. But he said, you know, I thought about you and I took you with my arms, and they didn't know that I'm the one that healed them. I speak with a lot of mercy, with a lot of emotions here about the people. And we can see how he loved the people and how, if last week was a really good lesson of how to create relationship when the, uh, the commandments were to come back to the situation when you started. Here, God is coming back to this point from his side, and we can see how he loved the people. Now he took care of them all, the situation, now how he healed them. And it's really important because I think this is a message that can take people and help us to understand that God is with us. God is going to, even if he's angry with us, with the people, still he's always, eventually wants to protect us. So God as a father, beautiful to see it in these verses. Let's see more these beautiful verses here. Coming back to Moria, בבקשה.
Yes, thank you. I'll wait. Okay. Now the pop-up is open. Wait. וחבלי אדם הם שכם ואבותות אהבה ואהיה להם כמרימי עול על לחייהם ואת אליו אוכל לא ישוב אל ארץ מצרים ואשור הוא מלכו כי מענו לשוב וחלה חרב וערב וכילתה בדב ואכלה ממועצותיהם. Sorry.
And we can see the bands of love and how God feed them and he said, they're not coming back to Egypt and Assyria. They didn't want to. And the idea of the bands of love, avotot ahava, is something that can show us the emotions that God has to the people. Even though he's angry with them, still he loves them and he wants to take care of them. And the idea is that in order to, this is a prophecy of consolation here, prophecy of love. And Hosea brought to us two great metaphors, the metaphor of marriage and the metaphor of parenthood, father and son, or husband and wife. And pay attention how in this book, all the time it's there, this situation. So from chapter 4, we ended last week chapter 3, from chapter 4 to chapter 10, there are prophecies of many anger that relates to Ephraim, to the northern kingdom people. And chapter 11 is taking us back to the situation where God is protecting the people. Next week, next week we won't have a class. The Bahans family are heading to the Golan Heights for a few days. But next time we are going to chapter 13 and 14, and we're going to see the end of this book. It's beautiful to see how is a beautiful journey that we've done with Hosea. And let's continue with these beautiful words. Then would you like to read, your friend? Go ahead. Detlef, can you hear me?
He's still muted.
No, he's not. No, he's muted. Detlef?
Yeah?
Yeah, you can read, my friend. Go ahead.
Okay. Vayami Tilohim Lem Shovati Ve'el Al Yikra'uhu Yachat Lo Nayeromein Eicha Atenecha Ephraim Amakein Eicha Yisrael Eicha Et Chanecha Be'adama Sha Achimecha Sovoim Nevach Alai Livnei no Libi Yachat Nichemau Nichemau Behomai O es Hacharon Api Lo Ashuf Leshachet Ephraim Ki El Anochi Velo Ish Beker Becha Kadosh Velo Avo Beir.
Even more than we can see here how this is there is a change from chapter 10 that we see them and there. Now we can see my people, and how I'm going to give it to you, how I'm going to deliver you. How can I give you as Adama and Etzevoim, which are places that God brought to destruction? Ne'efach alai libi, my heart is turned. I won't execute. I won't destroy you, because I am God and I'm not a man. I'm holy in the midst of you, and I'm not going to enter to the city, which is the idea. It's not going to use the Assyrian in order to hurt the people. So the situation here is a situation where we can see the love of God to his people. We can see how God is asking himself, how can I hurt my people? I can't do this. This is something that I'm feeling really bad if I need to do it. After there is a lot of anger in the last few chapters, now we can see God in what we're calling Midat HaRachamim, in the mercy, in the kindness that he is bringing to us. And this is beautiful, beautiful words. Let us ask dear Sharon to read to us. Sharon, can you hear me?
I'm trying. Can you hear me? Can you
I
hear
can.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. K-R-A, Yishakihu, Aisha, Herdu, Bani Mayam, Yam, Herdu, Kit Sipar, Mimisarim, Ukeyona, Meirat, Ashur, Veho, Team. Close one. All with him. Ours are open now. We're on phase 3. Adonai.
Excellent. You can see here that, thank you very much, Sharon. Toda rabah. We are going to follow God and he's going to be as a lion that roars. Amos started this book with Adonai Mitzion Ishag, from Zion. God is going to roar as a lion. The children are going to tremble from the west, and they shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, and as a dove out of the land of Assyria. And God is going to bring them back to their houses. So there is an option that God will use his heart that is turned and will feel a lot of emotions, and he's going to take care of the people. Then Egypt and Assyria and other places will tremble, will be hurt by God because he's taking care of his people. Okay, dear friends, first of all, thank you very much for waiting. I really appreciate today's two small chapters of Hosea. Thank you, Sharon, that brought us to other passages from the New Testament. There is connection to what we can see with Hosea. Hosea is really a prophet that brought to us many beautiful descriptions of relationship, father and son, husband and wife. And from this point and on, when we are going to speak about this relationship, so we are going to use those two metaphors. The reason I chose those two chapters is to see the movement between anger to love. Next time that we are going to meet 2 weeks from now, we are going to see the end of Hosea. And I'm really happy, of course, that we will be able to meet. So next week we won't have a class. We're going to meet 2 weeks from now with Hosea 13 and 14. And after that, the new prophets, new minor prophets are going to be with us. We have Joel and we have Amos, and we have more and more that will be with us. Many thanks for all of you. As always, it's been a pleasure to be here. I would like to wish you all with a great weekend, and hope that the statistics now in Israel with the corona is not so easy. The last few days, the numbers are up. So I'm going to do if there is going to be one more time movements that will close us. But next week we are heading to the Golan Heights, so going to be a little bit with the family between work and work. And I wish you all a great weekend. Toda rabba. As always, it's been a pleasure to be here. With the help of God, we are going to meet next week, the same place, the same time. So thank you very, very much. And